What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to episode 3. It's Here we are, new week. We're 2 weeks in now, starting our second week here. It's awesome. I'm so excited to keep this thing rolling and just keep it consistent because we got through like the icebreaker phase, where you gotta like start up and it's like the first day of school when you get papers about to like say things about you. I just want to preface I'm recording this after I started editing. I just realized like my voice is very like I just voice cracked. I just voice cracked right there. My throat is I'm a little scratchy today, so I apologize for all the voice cracks. I'm gonna leave them in because it's funny. So maybe you guys can clip it or like laugh at me or whatever. So yeah, just wanted to do a quick intro and give you a forewarning about my sore throat or whatever's going on. Allergies, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's get into it. Wow. Okay. So in between the intro and this, I just looked at the channel, like the videos. There's over 100 views on the UFC video and the first episode, and there's over 80 views on episode 2. Um, that is unreal. I cannot. I don't have words. I'm leaving this all in because this is unscripted, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, that's crazy. Thank you all so much for your support and your help trying to get this thing bigger. This is more than I ever thought I would be at. I was thinking I'd get like 30 views within the first like 3 months. I thought I would max out at like 30 views, and here we are with over the 300 views in total on on 3 videos in the first week. It's just insane, and I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much for doing that, and I really hope you're enjoying it. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to stop in and say a quick thank you while I looked at that in between recording. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So Romans 8 is where I was yesterday, and it's kind of weird because that was what our sermon was on yesterday, and that was before that was the next chapter that I was reading in Romans. Um, so yeah, Romans 24:25. For in this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope. For who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Just it's just kind of interesting to think about, because a lot of people, like me included, in the past, it's it's um, it's hard to keep hope when you're like never seeing it. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of something to think about. I I definitely have struggled with my faith. I feel like I struggle the most with my faith when nothing's happening. Um, and one of the reasons that I actually like one of the reasons that I got out of that was I remember this was probably like 6 months ago. I had gotten to a point. This is where I had like moved in to my new house and like in my new situation and everything. I was leaving my apartment and I was driving on the road and I remember talking to God, just being like, it just feels like forever since I've like felt anything or like heard you or um, you know just felt closer to you. And that was on, I think, Friday or Saturday, something like that. And then that Sunday, our whole sermon at church was about how like if you're not hearing God, then um, that's when He's the closest. And yeah, that's kind of why I don't. And it's just like I mean, a lot of people go through a lot of different things, right? Like some people might hear God's voice or see visions and see all these like these the craziest things might happen to some people, and a lot of people it might just only be hope for something you never see. Um, and I think it just depends. And I think that's why I'm kind of like I've never had like super crazy. Well, we're gonna get into a crazy experience next after this little tangent. Um, but I've kind of been halfway. Like I've had some crazy things happen, and I haven't. And it's just kind of interesting to think like a lot of people can have it like their faith can be tested a lot more because they're not getting crazy visions and hearing God's voice and things like that. But um, we all, even no matter what you're going through, you just have to keep the same amount of hope um, as you do, whether you're seeing visions or just living life and praying every day and kind of just going about it the way most of us do. It's always important to keep the same amount of faith, and that's definitely something I struggle with a lot. Well, I used to. I don't struggle with it as much anymore because I've kind of come to a realization of that and kind of know. So it's a lot easier for me to be in those waiting periods, in those silent periods. Um, and I guess I can kind of I feel like it's easy for me to sense when God is moving in my life. Uh, like with my job recently, or not recently, but the job it'll be a year at this new job in June, and when the opportunity presented itself, I knew it was God, and I knew I had to do it. Like the second it was said, um, because my mom had called me. I was kind of getting tired at my other job. Well, for those of you, I mean, I don't know how many of you would know this. I delivered beer for a while, um, for about a year and a half, and it was just kind of getting taxing. I had to drive up to Cleveland a lot, where our like main warehouse was, and I was doing a lot of routes out there, and I was just getting home really late. I was working a lot of hours, and it was just kind of had its toll on me. And I remember telling my mom a little bit about it, and then one day she just randomly called me, and she was like, "Hey, uh, your stepdad's friend has he just got promoted and his job's open at this company, and my stepdad used to work at this company, and they really like it, and it's smaller, but well, not smaller. It's just like it's like an Ohio. I guess it's like this as big as the beer company was because it's like all over Ohio. Um, anyway, it was made very clear to me um, that it was where God wanted me to be, especially because I mean the beer industry is um, it can be fine. Like if you're up in like Hudson, Ohio, which is like this, it's like a very high end city in Ohio. Um, if you're up there and you're at these like super nice country clubs and these fancy restaurants, they're delivering all this fancy wine and stuff. It's fine, but when you're in downtown Akron at 5 o'clock in the morning and there's just homeless people waiting for these like liquor stores to open, it can just it can feel really weird. Um, I don't know, like I don't want to say it felt like I was contributing to it because like obviously they make their own choices, but I don't know, in a way it kind of made me feel like I contributed to it. Um, so that's kind of why that was another reason like internally why I kind of was conflicted about it. A lot of it definitely was more the hours, but anyway, we're kind of getting into the specifics here. But when that job opportunity presented itself for where I work now, I knew it was where I was supposed to be. Um, because I remember my mom saying she was like, well, it was just such a coincidence because uh, your stepdad usually wouldn't like I think he had asked um, his friend that I got the job from. I think he asked him to like take him to his truck that day, and he was like he would never call him, but like nobody was answering his phone. Nobody was answering their phones to help my stepdad out, and that just so happened to be the one person that picked up and that did it. And he had just kind of one off mentioned it to my stepdad, like, hey, like this opened. And then my stepdad, not he didn't know that I was like kind of wanting to leave my job, and he mentioned it to my mom. And then my mom called me right away, and she's like, hey, this happened, like we got this opportunity for you. And that's why I knew right away. I was like, I have to go at least take an interview for this. And yeah, so it's easier to know. I said all that to say that it's easy to know for me personally because it's different for everybody. Um, it's just easy to know when God's about to move, at least make bigger moves in your life and move you into new seasons. Um, so for me, it's obvious when that stuff's happening, but like I don't know, a lot of other small stuff like more like personality stuff when he's trying to mold you and turn you into a better version of yourself, I guess, is that's when it's harder for me. Like when those opportunities, those smaller opportunities become, well, like the smaller decisions that you can make to kind of help yourself be put in a better situation. They're all put there by God. He's not gonna make you more bold. He's not gonna, you know, he's not gonna make you more confident. He's gonna give you opportunities to be more bold and be more confident and whatever else that you're asking him to do. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. There's a little nugget to share. We're gonna keep going into Romans because um, I do want to share a little bit more. So yeah, let's move on. I guess I kind of turned that into a little bit of a like I don't know like a mini testimony or like a small portion of my testimony. I guess I don't know. I don't know what you call that. A little rant. I don't know. I don't know what you call it, but yeah. To move on. So into like one of my favorite things to talk about when we talk about you know the spiritual realm, so to speak, or like spirituality and things like that. Um, so Romans 8:26, likewise the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Yeah. So Romans 8:26 kind of sums up an experience that I had because I remember one of the first things I asked my friends that we do our life group with and stuff. Um, I remember asking them like, what's one of like the craziest like spiritual encounters you've had like with God, um, and because I had so when I was kind of first reading the Bible, this would have been 2021, like right after I graduated. I had like no idea what I was doing. I think I was at the point where I was working dishwashing on the weekends and literally only the weekends. Uh, and I had been fighting with my mom a lot, just about some stuff. And I know she's gonna watch this, so she's definitely gonna say something about it, but that's okay. Um, I've told her about this as well, so it's fine. She knows where I'm going. I think she might know where I'm going. Who knows? Anyway, I remember just we had gotten into a lot of arguments, and I just kind of reached a boiling point, and I definitely was not making good choices in life as far as like my future goes, and we were going back and forth, and finally we had like our biggest argument ever, um, and I was in the middle of like doing chores. I was like hauling wood around our property, and I remember getting off the phone with my mom, and I was just super angry. I can't really even describe. Like I was really upset. I was crying. I was angry. And I remember getting out of the truck after getting off the phone with my mom, and I went to the back of the truck, and I like the truck bed down. I was getting ready to unload all this wood, and like while I was having a breakdown, and all of a sudden I'm gonna try to explain this the best I can. I don't really even know how I can explain it. I think it basically felt like God was like pulling me to the ground, not like on my stomach, but like pulling me to the ground, like to my knees, like and not like in like a like hey get on the ground kind of thing, but like hey like you like we need to talk type of way I guess. Like it felt like it felt like his hand was on my shoulder, but it was extremely heavy, or like his hand was around like on my back, and it was just really heavy. And I guess this is kind of the way I would describe it. It's really hard to explain the way I felt. But yeah, I guess like his hand was on my back, and he was kind of just helping me down. So I was on my knees, and I had just folded my hands up, closed my eyes, and I started praying. And when I got done, I walked back to the front, or like back to the truck to text my cousin, because my cousin was he was kind of when I first started, and I didn't really have a lot of people around to like explain anything in the Bible, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to read more. He was like the only person that he was like I felt most comfortable talking to him, and I went to text him and tell him like what just happened. Uh, and I remember I got in the truck, and I opened my text messages. I texted him. I was like, "Hey man, like I don't even know how to describe this. It just like it felt like God just put His hand on my back, and like the way I described it. Like I just basically told him what happened, and he he texted me back and he said, "Do you remember what you prayed about?" And I started thinking about it. I to this day have no idea what I said to God. I don't know a single word that I said to him. I basically blacked out, like right there, for however long that that I was like I didn't look at the time or anything to really check how long I was down there, but yeah I don't remember I don't remember any of it, like the prayer at all. I don't remember saying anything. Uh, and yeah, I think that just kind of goes to show, and that's kind of what my grandma told me when I told her about it. She was like, the spirit kind of knows when you need to talk, and it knows what you need to talk about, and it's you know the Holy Spirit interceding for you and kind of taking those burdens off your shoulders, and that yeah, and that's I think that's probably the reason why I enjoy that question so much is because um, just thinking about that story that I have, I can't imagine what some other people have seen or done. Um, which I don't know. Maybe in the email, maybe that's a good idea to do for the email thing. Maybe email me your crazy spiritual experiences. I'll give you guys a question instead of asking you for you to send questions. Maybe we'll do that and we can share some. Yeah. So what's like the craziest spiritual experience you've had with God? Kind of like that. So yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're learning a little bit, adding some dimensions to the podcast. Look at us go. So yeah, that's kind of all I want to share from Romans, and yeah, I mean, I guess we can move into some sports now. We did good. We spent a lot of time. Let's get into some sports now. I'm excited. I'm excited for the award show. I'm hoping I can get. The problem is with guests, as far as NBA content goes, none of my friends really watch the NBA, so it's like hard to get them on to provide an analysis. Is that what? Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, analysis. Hopefully, the improvement in this channel also goes for my vocabulary. Hopefully, that's something that improves as we get along with this channel. Um, but yeah, I mean the playing games are tonight. I think. Okay, sorry. So the West is tomorrow, and the East is on Wednesday. So we got the playing games. I don't I don't know what the hate with the play-in is, honestly. The playing's interesting. I do think it's kind of unfair for the 7 seed, because I feel like everything but the last seed should be like guaranteed. But I mean, it's fine because the 7 seed can still, well, they still are guaranteed a playoff spot. It's just not where they normally would be, obviously, unless they win. Um, yeah, I'm definitely tomorrow. I will 1,000% be watching the Warriors Kings because they had a great series last year. I think that was last year. I'm pretty sure. Um, those teams are they're fun to watch in general. Obviously, you have Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I'm not saying he's a fun player to watch. I'm just saying he's there. He exists. He's on the Warriors. That's really all I have to say about Draymond Green. Um, but Curry's always fun. It's kind of different now because I used to watch him as like a hater, but now I definitely appreciate him more. So yeah, it's kind of weird. We have a weird relationship, me and Stephen Curry, because I respect his game now, And if we're talking about what he's done for basketball in general, it's a different topic. We'll get into that like later. We don't have to do that right now. Um, but yeah, he's fun to watch. And that series last year was insane. So and De'Aaron Fox is one of my favorite players in the league. He has been for a really long time. And Sabonis, like probably Sabonis is the most underrated player in the league. Because that dude is like a triple double machine, oh at least a double double machine, and he just does not get talked about. And I believe he was snubbed for the All Star game as well. I don't think he made the All Star game. Um, and it's kind of sad. I'm interested to see how that game goes though. I know the Warriors definitely have a size advantage, but I could see them going small ball, and even small ball they'll still probably be bigger than the Kings, but they just have to match pace because the Kings are just so fast. They just play so quick that probably gonna have to go small ball to keep up with it. And I think, and at the end of the day, it just comes down to like who's gonna get hot. Because I feel like we'll randomly have a insane Klay Thompson game for some reason because he just does that. After proving that he's just washed, he'll come into a playing game and drop like 40 and they'll win. But the Kings also have players that can get hot. You know, you have like Harrison Barnes. They don't have Kevin Huerter because he's hurt, and Malik Monk's also hurt, which really sucks for them. That's gonna be a huge loss. They're gonna be missing that scoring. But the Kings have players that can get hot as well, and I think it just comes down to who can. And like it's gonna sound. This is not gonna make any sense, but it's gonna come down to who can score more, because I mean that my point is there's gonna be no defense. There's like no defense being played. So it'll be an interesting game. It'll be fun. I know that. And then Lakers Pelicans. I think the Lakers are gonna handle that. They just beat the Pelicans a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. It might have been last week actually. They beat them by quite a bit. So I don't know. I think it's pretty much the 8 seed. They're just playing to figure out. Or wait, no, the Nuggets got the 2nd seed, I think. So, yeah, if the Lakers beat the Pelicans and they're playing the Nuggets again, which I don't know. We're gonna do predictions as well. We'll do a bracket and all that good stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I think that's a rough one for the Lakers. But yeah, I don't know. The playing's fine. It's gonna be fun. It'll be there. There's some good games there. Oh, on the West, I should say. I think as far as the East goes, I think Miami and Philly will be decent. I don't know. I don't think it'll be anything crazy. I just have a sneaking suspicion for some reason that the Heat are gonna do the thing they do every year. As far as in the play-in, I don't know about beating Boston because Boston's scary. They're a scary team this year. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But I think those teams are just playing to see who's gonna lose to Boston and who's gonna be 7th seed. Obviously, because I don't have like the I think it's the Knicks or the 2 seed. And that just reminded me, we're going to talk about this as well. The Cavs purposely tanking to not get the 3rd seed. I don't know. I get it. You play like I don't know. It's just weak. I don't understand. You should always be trying to win. It's just I don't know. It just really annoys me when teams do that. And I can understand for like Detroit or something like that because they're trying to get draft picks and whatnot, and that's fine because it's like, where do you even? You don't have a reason to play. You should still be trying to win, but you don't necessarily have. You have less of a reason to win than the 4th seed trying to get the 3rd seed. But yeah, I don't know that. I don't know. I just don't like any matchup that the Cavs have in the playoffs. Anything that they were going to be around, like the Pacers. The Pacers scare me for anybody. I feel like that's a sneaky team that can come in and win at least the first round. they're not ready. They're not going to make it far. I just feel like they could be a sneaky team to come in and um, beat. Like I don't know that would be a classic team that Doc Rivers would lose to with a good team. Like that's who he like. They could beat the Bucks in the first round or something because that's just a Doc Rivers thing to do. I definitely did not want to play the Knicks as you know, if I'm the Cavs, I don't want to play the Knicks. But man, Orlando's still just they're probably less physical as far as front their front court goes. Like they're probably less physical there, but I feel like their guards are just really scrappy. Because Wendell Carter I see is more like a finesse guy in the post rather than like a like muscle guy. Um, so I guess that's kind of favorable. It's just if you match Mobley and Jared Allen up against these big guys, like not big, but like guys that play tough, they just don't have enough toughness to play them. Like Mitchell Robinson last year ate them alive, and that's part of the reason why I was terrified to play the Knicks because they're gonna do the same thing. And then obviously if you win, you're most likely going to be playing Boston in the second round, which I don't know. Maybe I hope the first round is enough to keep Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland, but I don't know. The dude wants to win really bad, and if you're not even making it past the second round, then that's I don't know. It's scary. It's scary to think about, and it could really throw a cog in the machine. But yeah, I guess that's more of a video for a different time, and a decision that's yet to be made. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're in for a treat this year in the playoffs. I'm excited to watch just as a fan because I don't think the Cavs are going to win. Like I said, I root for Boston, so I would definitely be watching them and cheering for Boston. I hope they can do it, and I love Jason Tatum, so I really want him to get a ring, and he's got to be the most overhated player in the league. Jason Tatum is weird, but we'll save that for a different video. So yeah, let's keep it moving. So yeah, with that that all out of the way, I don't know how long this one's gonna be. I did have some. I think it's gonna be longer than I thought it was originally because I didn't have material to go off. I'm just kind of talking today. So yeah, if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for watching and tuning in, especially if you made it this far. It's great. I'm glad you're here. And if you're back, then welcome back, and thanks for tuning in again. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna end it here. But before we do, just throwing it out there, I'm just gonna let you know, Jesus does love you very much. Um, he loves me. He loves you. Uh, yeah, that's probably the only message I really want to share. So yeah, thanks for so much for watching, guys. Uh, you guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Peace out.